Let me just check that is all working well. And it is, so thank you very much. There we go. Now, why am I dressed like this? You may wonder. Well, we are promoting next week's meeting called Leaders in Black. We are serious about fun. That's leadership speak for you, because we are always serious about fun. Figure that one out. Welcome, everybody. As I've already mentioned, we are an advanced Toastmasters club. I think you'd better look at my eyes, right? And I'm the club founder, and I've been a Toastmaster for 27 years. And we took this club, as when I was president last year, to be number 5 globally in just the first year of its total existence. We provide supportive and positive learning experience in which each member is empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And Leadership Speak is a premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything that we do. Our Toastmaster of the day today is Leya Musunga, and she is from Botswana. And let's see now, what's the time in Botswana? They're 6 hours away, so it's 3:33 p.m. Leya is one of my best friends in the Leadership Speak. She's one of those totally committed member. When she says she's going to do something, she follows through. If she says she's going to do something a month from now, she will make sure that when that time comes, she will be there and do what she does. That is how I know Leya. This is how I see her as a great leader in Leadership Speak. I call her part of my A team, really. And did you know that Leya read 200 books? Yeah, 200 books. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Leya Musunga, your Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Bram, for that lovely introduction. As stated, Leya, and I'm joining you all from Gaborone, Botswana. Welcome you all to this meeting here with us at Leadership Speak. And obviously, I'm the Toastmaster of the day, so I'm the person who will be guiding this meeting. And our theme for our meeting today is Leaders Delegate Effectively. As stated, our club is a premium club, and you also have the opportunity to hear a leadership speak, where we'll delve more into the theme for today. And what is it to be a leader who delegates effectively? According to Eli Broad, who wrote a book, The Art of Being Unreasonable, Lessons in Unconventional Thinking, he said, once you have identified your crucial tasks and sorted out your priorities, try to find a way to delegate everything else. The inability to delegate is one of the biggest problems I see with managers at all levels. So obviously here in our meeting today, we're going to be delving more into this topic. And what is it to be a leader who delegates effectively? Delegative leadership, also known as laissez-faire type of leadership, is a leadership style where the leader gives their team members a high level of autonomy and decision-making authority. In this style, the leader tends to be more hands-off, allows their team members to make their own decisions and take responsibility for their own work. And obviously here at Leadership Speak, it's a club with members from 16 different countries, all in different time zones. And we have definitely been working on trying to ensure that we do indeed delegate effectively so that we can have quality meetings, and we can also make sure that everyone is able to participate effectively. For our meeting today, I have a couple of people who will be helping me run the meeting. And at this point, I would just like to call our Tony, who will be giving the toast for the day. If you could please come to the virtual stage and share with us the toast. And during the course of the meeting, I'll also continue to share more about what it is to lead, to delegate effectively as a leader. Tony, if you could please give us the toast.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster of the Day and fellow Toastmasters, and of course, most welcome guests. During my 16 years as a Toastmaster, I have learned many things, many leadership skills. And one of the most important is effective delegation. And as Leya just said, it's not easy. At least I thought it was not easy, and I usually avoided it. However, I had to do a high-performance leadership project. And one thing I wanted to do was to organize my Toastmasters Club participation in a parade that we have every summer in my town. Now, according to the high performance leadership program, I had to follow, the program, the script, and my guidance committee, and delegate. I had to delegate to other people to do things. So I delegated to 5 people different assignments, such as recruiting clubs to join us, parade accessories, Toastmaster materials to pass along as we traveled on the highway. And people will keep on asking, can we do this? Can we do that? My answer was, go for it. Sure, have fun, do it. The results were incredible. They were much better than I would have done on my own, which is part of the thing about delegation. It's like Leya said, you give opportunities to others to be successful. So in the background is a partial picture of the people that attended. This is like 14 years ago. Someone organized the yellow shirts, someone got the umbrellas, the balloons, the banner, and someone else actually invented some kind of a traveling toaster with a piece of bread that went up and down that said, "Speak with confidence." This thing was a huge hit. People had fun. In 2 years, my club went from 8 members to 39 members because the enthusiasm just jumped through the roof and went sky high. People realized that delegating is not just about sharing chores, but it's about building bigger opportunities for us to share. And when you're having fun, you can have success. And you and I, we know this because delegating is not just for Toastmasters. I've now been doing it a lot at work, at hockey, in other organizations I volunteer for. Fellow Toastmasters, effective delegation is bringing success to others and having a good time in doing it. So, knowing this, you know this, and I know this. So please raise your drinks. Join me in a toast to having fun and especially effective thank you. I got so excited. Effective delegation.
Effective
delegation.
Cheers.
Red light is on. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Tony, for that. Indeed, it is true. It's good to delegate effectively, no matter what position you find yourself in. I've previously served as an area director in my district, and I tend to want to do everything, but I had to learn how to open my hands and let other people lead. And I had to learn also how to delegate so that they could also prosper. I'll now move on to our next role player of the evening, and that is our timer. Mary Lou, if you could please come to the virtual stage and please tell us about your role today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mary Lou Hassan, and I will be your timer today. I will be timing according to the agenda, and I will be using these different colors: minimum, you're almost done, wrap up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that timely introduction of the role, nice and quick. It was really nice. And I'll move on to what I like to call our police of the English language, and that is our grammarian, Muhammad. If you could please come to the virtual stage and tell us about your role and introduce the word of the day.
Thank you very much.
Today, I am the grammarian, and the grammar is the system and structure of a language. And today's role as a grammarian is to pay close attention to the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage, and I will take note of any improper language as well as outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day, and today's word is surrogate. It is very close to delegate, and it can be used in 4 different senses. One is substitute. Due to the actor's scheduling conflict, a surrogate was used for the dangerous stunts in the movie. And second is the proxy meaning. Lawyer served as a surrogate for the elderly client, making important legal decisions on their behalf. And third is the placeholder, like in the database, a surrogate key is generated automatically to ensure each record has a unique identifier. And then the fourth one is the representative. The spokesperson served as a surrogate for the company, addressing questions from the press about the recent product recall. So these are the 4 important meanings, senses that we can use surrogate, and I appreciate if the speakers use this one. Over to Master of Ceremony.
Thank you so much, Muhammad, for that and for introducing the word of the day, surrogate. So definitely like to encourage all our speakers to use the word, and I would also maybe request, Muhammad, if you could also share it in the chat, just in case someone misses it if they join us afterwards. And I know there was a note that asked for the agenda, so the agenda is also in the chat. Feel free to open and see. And if you have already opened our agenda, I'm sure you'll notice there's no table topics. As previously said, this is a premium club. We like to focus on the speeches. So today you're going to have the pleasure of hearing variety of our members presenting their speeches. And obviously at the end, we'll then have the feedback session. So I'd like to encourage you all to stay all the way up until the end. And also, please make sure that you are paying attention using your listening skills, because there will be a point where we'll ask you to vote for your best speaker today and also your best evaluator. So make sure that indeed you are listening, and you will, at that point in time, you won't be saying, ooh, ooh. So I'd like to encourage you, listen well to the speakers today. I'll then move right along to the first part of our meeting. So this is where we have a presentation from our first speaker. So we have a leadership speech being presented by Carine. And before I ask Carine to come to the virtual stage, I would like to invite her evaluator to please come and share the speech objective of Carine's speech. Jyothi,
Good evening to all the leaders. The purpose of the speech for Toastmaster Carine is to emphasize how effective delegation in leadership builds trust, empowers teams, and is crucial trait for becoming a great leader. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Carine.
Thank you so much, Jyothi, for sharing those speech objectives. So before I call her to the, I would just like to share this about her. So in terms of what she said about why she chose to craft this speech, she says, a leader needs to delegate effectively because he or she cannot manage everything alone. A reliable team is important to support this. Teamwork where we need each other to help to achieve their goals. So with the speech title, How to Delegate Effectively, Carine, Baptiste, How to Delegate Effectively. You may take the virtual stage.
Thank you very much, Leya and Jyothi, for this great introduction and also for your help to build this educational session together. Today, I will deliver an educational session dedicated to this topic, delegate leadership. As a leader, it is important to delegate. From my side, it was complicated. That's why I would like to deliver this topic. Before entering Toastmaster Club, I was afraid to delegate. Why? Because I was feared of losing the control. As you know, many girls like keeping the control, especially as business. I don't know why, but this is my way to keep the control. And I would like to show how Toastmasters help me to develop these skills. Just for an introduction, I would like to share a definition of delegation. As you see, delegates do. It is important to do this. A definition of delegation. A leader needs to give some responsibilities with his team, assign some tasks, define their roles, in order each one can have in mind an accurate responsibility. Why? To achieve together some goals in a team. A leader needs its team. Within its team, he can do anything. Okay, maybe he can achieve a goal, but together we can achieve different goals. I would like to ask you, what does a leader need to delegate? Please write on the chat box just words, because it is important. I know in this club, your opinion, your idea, if you can share during 30 seconds, your thought about this. And I can read after that. Or if you prefer, you can speak as you want. Okay. Because no leader can achieve greatness alone, can have ideation, effectiveness, productiveness, to grow others, helps accelerate productivity. To delegate is to focus, achieve with the purpose of leadership. It gets more done. Okay. So I think in this club, you want to delegate as a leader. It is important because we are a team, a big team. We are almost 50 members, so it is important to delegate. I would like to share with you some points to delegate. Sorry. Different options, the key points. For me, from my side, it is important to define a clear message as a leader with your different team, to trust, empowerment your team, because when you assign someone to define a task, it means you want to deliver your trust. Provide resource, a tool, material to do the task in good conditions. And if the person doesn't want to do it, the task, you need to support and to train it. Because it is important to share our knowledge, our experience, to increase the skills. Another point, accountability. When you delegate, you give more responsibility in order to be autonomous. And autonomy is very important because you give some guidelines, and it is important for your team to achieve whatever what means the real objective. And you need to give this autonomy. If you are behind with your team, you don't trust the team. So it's very complicated for the team to move forward. And when you assign your team with different tasks, you need to monitor the progress, the results. So it is important to have a follow-up. If someone moves forward at each step. And also, you need to show an illustration, the example to delegate. And the most, for me, important is to share our knowledge, our experience. This is, for me, important points I would like to share with you as a leader needs to delegate effectively. I will share with you 2 experiences for my case in delegation. In 2022, I need to organize a club contest in my first club, Paris La Défense. As you know, it requires an organization, a preparation, some skills to delegate with different roles. It was not easy because, as you know, I have some difficulty to delegate. It was very complex. And my mentor, Shelley, told me, Carine, you are not alone. You are in a big community, a huge community, Toastmasters. You can count on them. Please, don't do that alone. You will see experienced Toastmasters who want to help you. At the beginning, it was complicated because change totally is very difficult for me. So I decided to trust to my team. In my contest club, it is important to define some rules, the contest chair and the chief judge. I decided to take the role of the chief judge, and for the contest chair, I need to assign someone. And in my club, we are not experienced Toastmasters members. So the first thing is to train, to support the person who wants to be contest chair. Finally, I asked my team, my ex-com, who wants to be contest chair. And someone, Florian, raised up his hand, he accepted. And he asked me, Carine, I'm a recent member. For me, this is a challenge to take up, but I would like to learn. So could you please show how to work this role? Okay, I accepted to assign this role contest chair. During 2 hours, I provided my experience at contest chair because it didn't know exactly, it didn't know how it worked. So we took some guidelines provided by Toastmasters International, and we defined all the process you need to learn, you need to know. And finally, he really enjoyed this role because you have this responsibility to lead, to conduct the meeting. especially a club contest. And for the rules, as I was chief judge, I need to look for some judges. Fortunately, the club contest was online, as you know. It is easy to find judges in online contest because Toastmaster is very connected with different countries and have a lot of opportunities to find experienced judges through worldwide. And this opportunity helps me to share and also to learn from different judges their experience. And at this moment, I understood it is important for me to delegate because my knowledge finally increased a lot thanks to this community. And at this moment, I accepted to delegate. And for the technical roles, as you know, palette counters, timers, the masters, sergeant at arms, some of them gave me some names, reliable names. And it is important to know who would like to work, who are the right person, who are reliable to be part of this team. The D-Day, the club contest was an amazing journey because we built a strong team. We can count, we can help each other, and finally we learn a lot together. This experience, I think, was the moment I accepted to delegate effectively. Because I learned to trust my team, to know the right person, and finally to define the profiles, and to grow together. This is the beginning. As you know, I'm not totally changed because this is step by step, baby steps. That for the next step, if I decided to organize an area contest for my area 6 from district 59, I need to improve more and accept it to delegate with more and more people. I will finish by this quotation from US Senator Baron Dorgan. You can delegate authority, but you cannot delegate responsibility. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Carine, for that speech. You can have virtual claps being done, or even in the chat, you can put some emojis or reactions there also. Thank you so much, Carine, for your speech. You talking about club contest definitely reminds me of a club contest I've been a part of and just how challenging it can be. I know one which I was sent as the surrogate Zoom master at the 9th hour, so I definitely hear what you were saying. We'll now move on to our next speaker. I know according to our agenda, we're supposed to have Mariana, but she is not able to present her speech today. Hopefully she'll present it in the next coming time when she's available. So we'll move on to our next speaker, and that is Paramjit. And I would just like to invite Paramjit's evaluator to come to the virtual stage and please tell us the speech objectives.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to evaluate the speech by Toastmaster Paramjit Singh. He's going to present his project, Leading Your Team. And the purpose of this project is for the member to lead a small team to the completion of a project. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of his experience leading a team. All the best, Toastmaster Paramjit. And back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Leya.
Thank you so much. And this is what Paramjit said about this particular project he'll be presenting today. He says, in all aspects of life, we can't achieve a lot without the help of a team. Every team matrix is different and helps me to hone my skills as a leader to lead effectively. So with the speech title, I don't know if it's an abbreviation, it's RASA or RASA, Paramjit Singh. You may take the better stage.
How many of you can truly say that you have accomplished a project or an event entirely by yourself? If you have achieved it, I really bow to you for such a big accomplishment. However, in my life, all the projects, events, my success, I owe to the help and cohesive help of my family, my friends, and my community. In this case, means a teamwork. The teamwork becomes more evident when you are given an immensely difficult project. And I recently got a project which was a really very difficult and time-bound project. August 15, 2023, my project manager came to me and told me, Paramjit, we have to design and develop a new sitting arrangements for the Sharjah airport's new area. The stakes are very high because we got the project as other competitors couldn't do it on the time. And the management has very clearly given the dates of completion by the end of September. The pressure is really very high, but the chance of errors is minuscule. We have to start it immediately. And I tell you very clearly that there will be no special funds or rewards for you, your team. Of course, if there is a failure, certainly there will be severe consequences for everyone. In this situation, it's very easy to become overwhelmed and demotivated by yourself. I couldn't find how to inspire and motivate my team to complete almost a difficult project. However, I convened the meeting immediately, discussed the project, and in the room, everybody shared the same concerns and apprehensions about the delivery time. And in this sea of doubt, I found a glimmer of hope with the understanding that the management hope has shown the trust in us, trust in our department. And by completing this project, we will not only showcase our strength, as well as we will be able to meet the commitment of our management. I talked to people very honestly, transparently, and told them and reiterated that this is the time for us to work together to complete this project. Of course, the rewards are not imminent, but there are a lot of possibilities for everybody's personal growth and personal achievements. I also promised them that if possible, I will be able to reward them with a compensatory leave by the time they have invested, so that their hard work and dedication doesn't go unrewarded and undedicated. This put fire in the engine, and we started working in a cohesive team. And throughout this project, I was always reminding them one simple thing. You are not going to get any monetary reward now, but surely you will going to gain new skills, which will help and impact your professional life. It will help you in your career. And they understood and put their best of efforts to make the things happen in time. Of course, this was a bumpy ride. Everybody had a different level of motivations and lack of motivation at different points of time. However, the concept of RASA, recognition, achievement, support, and affiliation became our guiding principles, and from which we draw our power, worked hard to complete the project. I am really proud to share with you all that we have almost completed 80% of the project, and I'm very sure that we will be able to deliver everything to the Sharjah airport before end of this month. My dear Toastmasters, let this, my experience, be a reminder for everyone that when the stakes are high, you have a team. It's difficult to build a cohesive team, but understanding the inspirations and motivations of all the team members working together, you can conquer any mountain. Let the flame of ignition be within us, the motivation within us, and using the principles of RASA, certainly we as a team can conquer any hill, any mountain, and any project complete on time and with the best of possibilities. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Paramjit, for that. And indeed, like the famous quote that says, teamwork makes the dream work. Definitely when you come together as a team, it's amazing to see what can be achieved. So like I previously said, please go ahead, share in the chat and thank whatever comments you might have. Maybe you want to say thank you so much for all the speakers, whatever they're presenting today, feel free to use the chat for that. I'll now move on to our next speaker, and that is Barbara. But before she comes to the virtual stage, I'd like to invite Barbara's evaluator, Baron, to please give us the speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Barbara is going to be delivering a leadership style speech, understanding your leadership style. And the purpose of this project is for Barbara to identify her leadership style, share some aspect of her primary leadership style, or discuss leadership styles in general. As per Barbara's request, I will also look out for the clarity in how she speaks. Toastmaster of the Day, that's what I'll be looking out for from Barbara. Back to you.
Thank you so much. And this is what Barbara says about her. She says she's very passionate about service and wishes to share that. So with the speech title, My Life, I'm not seeing Barbara being highlighted. Maybe before I continue.
Madam Toastmaster, if I may interrupt a little bit. I think there's a confusion in the objectives of the speech. I think, is it an icebreaker or a second level speech?
According to the agenda, it's icebreaker. According to the evaluation she sent me, leadership styles. So we need to clear that.
So, Madam Toastmaster, what speech is it today? Is it the, I think it's the icebreaker, right?
Yeah, well, on the agenda, it says icebreaker.
Sure. So, Baron, could you start again and introduce her the icebreaker objectives?
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Barbara is going to be delivering an icebreaker speech. An icebreaker speech is about introducing yourself to your audience. By the end of the speech, they should know you better than they did before. There is no specific about what she can talk about, as long as she's speaking about herself and we get to know her better. And before we get to the icebreaker, when the Toastmaster of the day introduces her, we shall have to stand up to give her the standing ovation, the support, and after she's done, we shall do the same. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Barrett. Yes, normally when you're presenting your icebreaker speech, that it's because it's you're breaking the ice. So if we were having an in-person meeting, this is the time when we'll all stand up and clap. So maybe we can do that. Maybe we can a virtual clap for her as she comes to present her icebreaker speech. I'm not seeing any virtual claps. Okay, I can see some claps going on in the videos. Yes, oh, okay, yes. Oh, those are the virtual ones you do. So with the icebreaker speech titled, My Life, Barbara Jarvis.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster today, and good day to all the Toastmasters. There is nothing impossible today who will try. This is from Alexander the Great. Now, the title I'm choosing today is the service in various organizations that I have had in my life. So throughout my life, I had the privilege of serving in several organizations, each leaving a profound impact on my personal growth, values, and worldview. From my role as a president of the Insurance Institute in 2012 and other positions to my current position as the membership chair in the Rotary Club of Antigua. Each experience has provided me with invaluable opportunities to contribute to society, connect with diverse individuals, and make a meaningful difference. I will reflect upon my involvement in these organizations, highlighting the transformative effects that they have had on my character and perspective. In 2012, I had the honor of serving as the president of the Insurance Institute. This role not only allowed me to enhance my leadership skills, but also provided a platform to advocate for the importance of insurance in our community. I witnessed firsthand the positive impact that knowledge and protection can have on individuals and families. This experience has instilled in me a deep sense of responsibility to serve others. We promoted the advancement of knowledge and skills and maintained the highest level of standards and ethics, as well as the professional development within the insurance industry. We put on insurance courses for the Caribbean and had excellent passes throughout. I was the fundraising chair, membership chair, alumnus chair, and director in the Lions Club of Antigua. I took on all these roles and offices while serving as a member in the Lions Club. Now, these positions granted me the opportunity to engage with a diverse range of individuals who shared a common passion for community service, organizing health camps, supporting local schools, and providing aid to the underprivileged. The Lions Club experience taught me the value of teamwork, unity, the immense power that have a collective effort that can bring in about positive changes within us all. I also served as a treasurer in the Mothers Union. Now, serving as a treasurer in 2019 offered me a unique perspective on the challenges faced by women in our society. This organization is aimed to empower women, provide gender equality, and we address the specific needs of mothers. This experiment further strengthened my commitment to advocating for women's rights and creating an inclusive environment for all children and mothers all over the world. I am the past treasurer and presently the membership chair in the Rotary Club of Antigua. Now, Rotary is a global humanitarian organization dedicated to improving lives worldwide. This has broadened my horizon, nurtured my empathy, and reinforced the belief that we possess the power to make a difference both locally and globally. In addition to my involvement in various organizations, my journey in Toastmasters has played a significant role in my personal and professional development. I served as the membership chair in the Black Pineapple Toastmasters Club and was awarded Toastmaster of the Year in 2021. A year later, I served as the president of the Black Pineapple Toastmasters Club, and we achieved President Distinguished status in 2022. I am also a proud member of the Leadership Speak Club. Now, these clubs have provided me with invaluable opportunities to enhance my communication skills, foster leadership abilities, and expand my knowledge. All these leadership positions have broadened my ability to lead and delegate, which aid giving back to the community. My passion, as was noted in my bio, is that I am a service-oriented person, and anything that says or does about giving back to community, I stand strong and united for that. And I have a team which is within the Lions Club of Antigua. No, not Lions Club. I'm no longer with Lions Club, but the Rotary Club of Antigua, that we are striving to make lives, unfortunate lives of there, better and greater. Back over to you, Toastmaster, today.
Thank you so much for that, Barbara. Oh yeah, once again, I'm supposed to clap for her. She just completed the icebreaker speech, so we can give her a big hand. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, so thank you so much for that. And definitely there is nothing impossible. And it's a good thing you're talking about the Rotary Club, because I know right now Toastmaster is actually has like some sort of partnership with the Rotary Club. So that's something that is interesting. If you would like to find out more, I think if you go on the website, there's actually quite a lot of information about the collaboration between Toastmasters and Rotary Club. We'll now move on to our next speaker, and that is Clemence Kambewu. And I'd just like to invite Clemence Evaluator to the virtual stage to please tell us the speech objectives.
Thank you. Clemence today is doing the vocal variety and body language speech, and he wants us to also watch out for his storytelling techniques. The whole thing is to have body language, including gestures, other nonverbal communication, vocal variety, pace, tone, pitch, and volume. Lots to watch for. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And Clemence, with the speech title, Let Me Help You. Let Me Help You, Clemence Kambewu.
How many of you here want help in one way or the other? Excellent. Hello, I'm from Zimbabwe. I live happily and work in Botswana. I have a business. I'm a proud father of 5 children, and I'm happily married. My life is blessed, and I'm grateful for that. But my life was never like this. In November 2019, I went to the immigration office in Gaborone with my family, my wife, and 3 children. Their residence permit had expired. They had overstayed for a period of 3 years. I went to the counter, and the lady at the counter in the immigration office in Gaborone, which is the capital city of Botswana, she said, I have to go and see the supervisor because my situation was peculiar. I went to the supervisor. I went into his office. The supervisor was a tall, slim man He was sitting behind a dark table, dark brown table. We went in there with my family. I handed over the passports for my family to the supervisor. He looked at them and said, how? You overstayed, your family has overstayed by 3 years. Then he said, Madam and your children, I am going to charge you. I am going to charge you 3,000 pula. And you have to go and pay that at the police station. 3,000 pula is equivalent to 300 US dollars. I stood there and I wasn't so much surprised because that is the law in Botswana. I took my family, went out, and then we rushed to the police. And there I paid the 3,000 pula and came back to his office. I gave him my application form together with the payment that I'd made at the police station. And he looked at them and said, okay. Then he stood up and said, Madam, you and your 3 children, you are going to go out of the country today. I would like you to go out of this country today. You are not going to submit your application form for residence permit. I stood there and wondered, what? And then I begged him and I said, say, my children are going to school. I cannot go out of the country. Please help me submit these application forms. He said, no, I'm not going to allow that. You have to go out of the country. I took my family and went out and went home and packed our bags. And then we went to the border post 6 hours away. I drove with my family, my wife, and my children. And we entered the entrance hall of the immigration office at the border post. And then I looked around and I saw 4 immigration officers seated behind their counters. And there, my intuition just said, no, go for a lady. And the other said, no, go for that man at the corner there. He was number 1 at the number 1 count. I went there, submitted my passport to him, and he looked at them, took his stamp, go. He stamped without a problem. Then, as I was about to leave, I said, okay, let me ask this man. I've been told to go out of the country. Now let me ask him when can we come back with the family? And the man was a short, stout man, and he looked at me and said, no, they are not coming back. He was very angry. And he said, no, they are not coming. They've overstayed for 3 years. He took the passport again and put another stamp. And it's called a double stamp in Botswana. And when you get that double stamp, you come back after 1 year. And my children had left school. Now I have to get everyone out of the country. I begged him and said, please help me so that they can come back and submit the application form. He adamantly refused. As I was going out, a lady officer called and said, say, come back to me. And she was seated there and she said, let me help you. I would like you to go to the embassy of Botswana in Harare and submit those application forms. They will help you there. My hopelessness turned into hopefulness. I was a little bit elated now. We drove all the way to Harare, and when we got to Harare, I managed to submit the application forms at the embassy in Harare. They welcomed us, and we were so happy. I left the family there in Harare, and I came back to Gaborone. Within 3 weeks, I received a phone call and said, Clemence, your permits for your family, they are ready, come and collect them. After this ordeal, I thought to myself, would I have been able to be reunited with my family without the help of this lady officer who said, let me help you? I would like to ask you the same question. Would you be able to become who you are today without the help of others? Do you spare time to help others, be it your friends, your colleagues, your community members? There are people around you. Look around. Reach out to your community members, reach out to your family, reach out to your friends, and just go to them and say, let me help you. Just like the lady who was at the counter who called me and said, let me help you and change my life forever. I would like you today, for the next 90 days, to go around and look for someone to help and say, let me help you.
Thank you so much, Clemence, for that. Indeed, let me help you. Those are definitely very powerful words that one can use to definitely propel themselves further. And we'll now move on to our next speaker. This will be our final speaker for today, and that is Nikhita. And before I call her to the virtual stage, I'd like to invite our evaluator to come and share the speech objective of this.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests to Leadership Speak. We now have the privilege of listening to a semi-finalist world champion of public speaking with us, member of Leadership Speak. Nikhita is speaking. She is taking the path presentation mastery, and the objective of the speech is introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. She'll give us a story about a time as a mentee and the importance of having a mentor. She has got 5 to 7 minutes to present this speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster Leya.
Thank you so much for that, Dan. And as said, yes, so she is a 2023 World Champion of Semi-Finalist, and she says she'll be sharing her experience of being a protege while preparing to be a World Champion of Public Speaking. So besides that, she says she's also she also uses dance as an analogy to share a perspective that is rooted in her experience as a dancer. So with the speech title, Per de deux, it takes two. Per de deux, it takes two. Nikhita, you may take over the stage.
Thank you very much. And hello, ensemble. Today, I am going to take you on a journey through the world of mentorship as a protege. And I will also take you through this journey through the lens of a dance called the pas de deux, which basically is commonly used in classical ballet to refer to a dance of two. All right. The pas de deux. Here we go. It is not easy to be a protege, and it is not easy to be a mentor. I found my mentor 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I was in need of self-discovery and growth. And so as I embarked on my journey with my mentor, whom I was very fortunate to find, in fact, my mentor is someone who is rooted in emotional intelligence, who comes from a place of experience, who has also gone through the same journey as a protege before, and who was ready 7 years ago to join me in the dance of life. When we watch a pas de deux, for those who have not seen one, it is a captivating dance that beautifully symbolizes the delicate balance between mentor and protege. And when we watch this dance, what we see is an effortless experience, an effortless performance. But behind the grace is a back breaking process. Storms of emotions and bleeding, growing pains. And most of the time, I was alone in my pain. Yes, my mentor was there, but I had to deal with those challenges on my own. Let me explain this to you. What we see here in this parada is this figure here that seems to have all the strength. That is the mentor, the support. And then the ballerina, which obviously in your situation can be, the genders are, whichever genders are applicable to your situation. For me, this was the ballerina. I am the ballerina. And the ballerina, what we can't see is that the ballerina has her own core strength to hold herself up, to make herself light. And when she loses her core strength, what happens is that she becomes heavier. She becomes heavy, in fact, sometimes too heavy for the support. When the ballerina is heavy, it makes the action of lifting her more difficult and sometimes impossible. Now, as a protege, going through my back-breaking process, it is easy to lean on my mentor for support. And my mentor, he always knew that for him to do his work, he had to get me back into my center. So what my mentor always does is he guides me back to my inner strength, my inner ability, and my inner knowing. It is not my mentor's job to hold the weight for me. No, as a protege, you have to hold your own weight. Yes, that allows the mentor to guide and to support. Proteges, you have to do the work. You are the center of attention. You are the lead. You have to do the work. The mentor is the pillar of strength and knowledge. The mentor is there to guide and to help navigate these intricate steps in life. And for the mentor to do that, you, as a protege, I have to be coachable. To be coachable means to be flexible. To surrender my control. As we heard earlier from our speaker, Carine, is that it's not easy to let go of that control. But as a protege, if you want this relationship to work, you have to surrender your control, to trust that the mentor has the expertise to support you, to be willing to learn. This beautiful dance, this beautiful relationship is only possible with one key ingredient: communication. Communication is key and helps to cultivate deep listening. Because when these dancers get on stage, they only give each other subtle cues to know exactly where they need to be and when they need to be there. But to develop that kind of communication, that intimate communication, these two dancers have spent countless hours rehearsing. They've built a relationship based on strength, on trust, and they know each other very well. Therefore, as mentor and protege, you both are responsible to invest that time and that effort to build this bond, to be able to achieve growth, and greatness. I have spent 7 years with my mentor, and we are still dancing together. And every time I try to lean, he directs me right back to my own inner knowing. My fellow ensemble, to achieve human greatness, we cannot do that on our own. It takes two. In fact, the dance of two is more beautiful than a solo. So I encourage you today, I encourage you to seek a mentor. I encourage you to be a mentor. And I encourage you to embrace this dance of commitment. It truly takes two to tango. And in our case, it takes two to achieve greatness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikhita, for that. Indeed, it takes two to achieve greatness. Thank you so much for that speech. I would now like to just ask our timer, Mary Lou, if you could please share the timing for our speakers in the chat so our evaluators can be able to take note of that. And then I would also like to ask our Zoom master. Oh, it's already being done. Our Zoom master has shared the poll for the best effort speaker. So as I said at the beginning, please make sure you listen carefully so that you'll be able to then decide who you feel was the best effort speaker for today. I think the poll has ended because I can see it has been removed from my screen. So I hope you had a chance to vote. Every vote counts, as they say. We're now going to move on to our, what would normally called our better listening segment. So this is where we get the feedback for our speakers today. And the person who will be leading this particular segment will be Hannah. And I'll just share a little bit about Hannah before she comes to the virtual stage. She told me that at the start of 2020, she called herself #Zoom Hopper, visiting as many Toastmasters clubs online and getting to know the different Toastmasters members. This has made an important impact on her as each club has its own culture. And regarding the theme for today, she said, you should take an objective look at your own workload and consider which tasks can be delegated and performed by someone else. Do not get boggled down with your workload as you cannot accomplish everything alone. So welcome, Hannah, to please chair our evaluation session. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, for the introduction. The next section on the agenda is surely an opportunity for leaders to delegate effectively. Your general evaluator cannot perform this assignment on her own, and thus I have delegated this task to an extremely accomplished team of evaluators who will deliver their evaluations of the speeches. No leader can achieve greatness alone, as was put into the chat box. We start with raising a toast. Is definitely worthwhile an evaluation. And here I ask Toastmaster Bram, a very seasoned evaluator, to evaluate Tony.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll try to do justice as I'm just standing by for Sudarshan here. Hope everything's okay with him. I think he's got some internet problems. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Bratschitsch, thank you for doing that toast for us today. Based, of course, on the lines of the theme of the day, which is leaders delegate effectively. And he did speak very well to the theme in his toast. Not only that, he actually brought in his own experiences within Toastmasters rather than outside of Toastmasters, because all of our Toastmasters is all about delegation. Now, what is delegation? Is not really putting your job to somebody else and say, you do it, and I'll be the boss. In Toastmasters, we totally got clear from Tony that wasn't the case. What it was all about team and the team growth and about ownership. When the team owns something, they will perform to their best. And so that's what his team did, and everyone sort of brought balloons and all the shebang that needs to be brought in for that cactus festival. Have you ever heard of a cactus festival in Dundas? I have. Never been to one, though. And then he had these pictures behind him, and they were just wonderful pictures, and it was very well delivered. Now, Tony isn't even at home in his office. He's traveling. He's in a hotel room, and he was able to deliver this particular toast. And he did it very well by, if you remember, if you saw at the end, he had only 2 words: effective delegation. And we all raised our toast to that. So we remembered the words, because sometimes we tend to sort of, when we are doing a toast, the last sentence we want everyone to mention is a very long sentence, and everyone forgets the long sentence. It has to be 2-3 words maximum. And he did that very effectively. So thank you, Tony. I know he's not in the room, but also for those of you who are wondering why I'm doing an evaluation for the guests, it is actually a social speech in level 3, which is all about one of the social speeches is raising a toast. And Tony did an effective toast today. What I would have liked, well, perhaps at the end, a bit more about what exactly happened, with the team afterwards, and how did they go on to perform. I know the club became very popular and had lots of members, but what else was present there? That's what I would like to hear. Thank you so much. Back to you, Madam G.
Thank you very much. That is what I call put on 2 hats. Thank you very much for jumping in as evaluator. And we hope, by thumbs, that everything is okay with Sudarshan. Now I have the pleasure and the honor evaluating Toastmaster of the Day, Leya. I don't see you, Leya. Please come. There we are. Leya, thank you very much for taking on the role as Toastmaster of the Day. You had a very clear and audible voice, and always you have that infectious smile. Show it to us. Thank you very much. According to the sheet you sent to me, your vocal variety, I would have liked a little bit more vocal variety, more excitement of introducing the speaker or asking the evaluator to come and speak up for you. Just a little bit more oomph in your vocal variety. Your eye contact, that was super. You had it with the audience. Everybody could see your face. Your audience awareness, thank you very much for introducing our role players. And very important, for letting the audience know that leadership speak does not have table topics as customary with all or most of the other clubs where they have table topics. We concentrate on the leadership. Your comfort level was extremely comfortable in being the Toastmaster of the Day. You looked into the camera, had a clear and audible voice, as I said to you already. Even with a small hiccup that we had, you kept your cool. I'm also talking about your Zoom presence. Leya, do not leave your Zoom room unoccupied, as you have done in some moments. Please try and be present, visible all the time. Thank you for accepting my evaluation. Well done and congratulations. Next time, we'll check you as a general evaluator. Thank you very much. Now I'll go on to my team, my extremely capable team of evaluators. And the first one will be Jyothi. She will be evaluating our leadership speak, Carine. Jyothi is a dedicated social entrepreneur focusing on uplifting underprivileged children and women at the grassroots level. She is a certified mentor. Nikhita, there's one. go to Jyothi. For women entrepreneurs, Jyothi is also a certified corporate trainer. She has spoken on the TEDx platform. Jyothi, over to you. You are muted.
Thank you. Thank you for that generous introduction, Madam General Evaluator. You are not alone, Carine. A great opening. Congratulations on completing a speech with a leadership speak. You are here to be supported, and that's what you asked, and that's what you will get here at leadership. Every baby step. What I really liked about your speech, one, opening with a vulnerability to say that I don't know, I needed help, I want support, is a true call for a leader. Two, you're opening with vulnerability and you ended it with a beautiful quote. Your speech gave a recall where you said, you can delegate authority, not responsibility. And I think that left the true spirit of what the purpose of the project was, to make sure how effective leadership, delegation supports and helps a team. Moving on to the third one was, you spoke about your personal story and you asked us a question and asked us to quickly put it in the chat box. That way you kept the audience engaged, which was a very good point. You had a clear structure, you started, moved on well, and closed it with a quote. I think that went off very well. Those areas were all really good. Now, may I, most humbly, ask you to look into a few points that I would have really wanted to see you do. You did well with eye contact because you wanted to talk about it. I'm going to talk about 3 key points. Your posture, Zoom presence, the virtual presence, and the presentation, the technology you used. You had some great key points, but I was looking for you, Carine. I did not see you. And I was wondering what happened to you. If you could have been there along with that, or every time you brought in one point, the key point, if you had gone with a click and one at a time, we would have looked at you and read. This way, we started reading the entire thing and lost you. Your posture, when you stand up and deliver, is also the way a leader would do it. It gives you the presence, it gives you the tonality, and also your body language will be a lot more better. Moving on to making sure that your presence, when you were in front of the Zoom, you were slouching, and that again looked like you were fumbling on that, though you did say you're working towards that. With those 3 points in the first few, I would like to summarize by saying, good opening, clearly stated vulnerability, working towards the purpose, great ending with a wonderful quote, and if you could just take care of your presence, not to slouch, and to use technology even better, this would be remarkable, moving on to the next level. Thank you very much, and over to Madam General Evaluator. Thank you.
Jyothi, thank you very much for that very informative and to the point evaluation of our leadership speak, Carine. Thank you very much. Our next evaluator is Aswathy. She's going to evaluate Paramjit. Oh, and Aswathy is a former scientist, entrepreneur, and a passionate educator. She trains students and teaches in soft skills and teaching methodologies. She is the author of 2 books. Aswathy, you haven't advertised your books. Let's do that at the next time. Aswathy, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hannah. Coming together is the beginning, and keeping together is progress. Working together is success. It is said by Henry Ford. And that's the power of teamwork. And today, Toastmaster Paramjit, he shared the experience, something similar to this quote, that how his team came together They worked together, progressed together, and achieved success. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paramjit, for sharing this experience with all of us and motivating us. This was really a very motivating speech. Now, you mentioned about 4 elements which helped you to achieve success along with your team. 4 elements were RASA, recognition, achievement, support, and affiliation. Now, I too have few elements which I loved in your speech, and I would like to share about all those, and also would love to give few recommendations if that may help in your speech. So to start with, the first element is relatability. I am sure that all of us would agree with me that we would have faced one such problem in our life. It may be not as big as Toastmaster Paramjit's faced, but at least some problem where we had to solve that and our team supported us and we accomplished that along with our team. So it was so relatable, and you connected the chord in the very beginning when you started with the question that how many of you can say that you have accomplished this task all alone. I'm sure none of us will agree to that. All of us needed that team and had the support of team, especially the Toastmasters. We know how a teamwork helps. So that was very relatable, and you shared the story, your own personal story, so that added credibility to your speech. So that was the first element which I loved. Coming to the second point is the story, the structure of your speech. You used a storytelling method, and when you come to story, it should have a problem, a solution, and a strong message. And the problem was very clear. You mentioned that how the task was so big, there were no extra funds, no rewards, no time, there was less time, and you may face severe consequences if you fail. So with all those problems, you had a solution. Your management showed trust on you, and then you could motivate yourself and your team member. And then you achieved success, and you are still working on that. But here, I think there was a lack of strong, I felt the message could have been more stronger, because you spent a lot of time in explaining about the problem and very less time in the solution and the message. So that was one thing which I felt can be added here. And third element was the emotions. You conveyed those emotions through your expressions very well when you spoke about your problem, and then when you showed that excitement when you were motivated and you helped your team members. So your speech had all these 3 rhetorical elements of ethos, pathos, and logos in your speech. But if you can work on bringing some voice modulation to enhance the expressions and also add a very strong message to conclude your speech, I think your speech would be a very effective one. Thank you, and all the very best. Over to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Hannah.
Thank you very much, Aswathy. Your message was indeed strong and full of emotions towards Paramjit. And you connected with him through your to-the-point evaluation and reliability. That is what is most important also with leadership speak. We can rely on everybody here in our team. Our next evaluator is Baron. He will be evaluating Barbara's icebreaker. Wow! Baron is a student of journalism and mass communication in Uganda, with much focus on public relations and sales and marketing. He also partakes greatly in leadership development and public speaking. Public coaching, not public speaking, public coaching. Baron, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Barbara, amazing, amazing, amazing is all I can say. You started with the quote, "There is nothing impossible for they who try," from Alexander the Great. And did you try? I wouldn't say you tried. I would say you understood the assignment and you came to get it done. And get it done, you did. Kudos to you on that. One thing I have to point out is your icebreaker was indeed an advanced level icebreaker. It shows that this is not your first path. This should be your second, third, or even fourth, and so on path. You told us the story of your life, but through your leadership journey, which is an analogy in itself. Amazing. Did you fulfill the purpose of your speech? Absolutely. With the clarity of speech, you were good at it. Down to your speech, you spoke about your journey through Lions Club leadership, the insurance company that you were president of, the Rotary Club, rather, where you were the past treasurer and present membership chair, Toastmasters in your home club, as well as Leadership Speak, in which you are making great strides. We got to know you better. Before that, we did not know any of this information, but now we know to refer to you about Rotary, about Lions Club, and all the other spaces that you are engaged in. I would like to get started with how you can blow this, how you can blow the gasket off of this. And the first one would be structure. We knew you were going to introduce yourself, but what if you said, I am going to tell you the story of my life through my journey in leadership, with my engagement in Lions Club, my engagement in Rotary, my engagement in the insurance company I worked in, and my engagement in Toastmasters. You see what I just did there? I made it intentional with the same information that I said you did well. That, and the next would be audience engagement, because I would believe that in this room, we have many Toastmasters who are engaged in these platforms that you are in as well. And that would have been a very proud moment to bring it all in together. Away from that, I think you excelled at the purpose of your speech. You excelled in delivering what an icebreaker should feel like. And more than that, you summed it up, as I am doing right now, by saying these leadership roles helped to stretch your leadership abilities. Kudos to you, Toastmaster Barbara Jarvis. I look forward to hearing from you, not only about public speaking, but about your engagement in these clubs as well. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Kudos, I return the kudos to you, Baron, for that amazing and clear, with that amazing and clear voice to evaluate Barbara's icebreaker. With structure, indeed, is a great part of any speech. And I forgot to say, even with Aswathy, if you could stand with your evaluations, or that would be much nicer than just sitting. Stand, that's good. Our next evaluator, wow. That is going to be Sandra. And she's going to evaluate Clemence. And for Sandra, compassion matters. That we all know, compassion. Delegation is a two-edged sword. You can delegate as a boss with the power of a paycheck, or you can use compassionate straight talk from someone who has also done the same tasks. You are doing it, ask others to do what you would be unwilling to do yourself. Over to you, Sandra.
Thank you. And I'm not going to stand because I'll disappear. Look. Anyhow, it's my pleasure to be speaking with Clemence. And I asked him, how much do you want? I'm glad to see, Clemence, you're strong, ready for me. Your personal passion comes right through. There's no wondering if you're passionate about what you do. It is there, and it is adamant with that finger. I could just about feel that finger coming right on through to me. You get very excited. And that is how you're going to expend your energy and get energy over to us. However, when it's just all at the same tempo and all at the same tone and all at the same pace, it starts to have no variety with it. So the passion has to be mixed in with, those deflating times. And if you're allowing your voice to not be strong all the time and still projected, you will find that you can be passionate about those areas and they're going to do this and this and this and this. But thank goodness for that one person that stopped and said, let me help you. You see, there's a silence, there's a quietness to it, and it would quieten you down and the message would come over. Body language is what you're watching for. Vocal variety is what you're watching for, and your storytelling is what you were asking me for. Storytelling is a challenge and a trick because a story doesn't need all of the little details and the entire timeline. It needs the collapsed effect. I would have probably preferred that you tell us, not right while the passion, kind of tell us what the idea is about in an informative fashion so we could grasp where you're going with it. And then go into the excitement and the story, but collapse the time frame. And then you would come back. So the story would be kind of the body, and then come back at the closing where you're going to bring us back to that contentment and that wisdom and that knowing that in all the chaos, you just need one person that changes your life. Are you going to be that one person? So there's a drawing in that you can achieve for more vocal variety. In my opinion, your very best way to understand what I'm putting out there as an observer is to go back and watch the replay. Having these meetings recorded is pure gold. Go back and watch your own replay. Watch it 3 or 4 times. Turn the sound off. Turn the sound on. Listen with your eyes closed. You'll find gold. Thank you so much, Clarence, for your passion and your sharing. Thank you. GE?
Yeah, definitely. That is good for you. Thank you very much. Sandra, I think you can adjust your camera. Please, maybe try that also. And you were very passionate about the Clemence's "Let me help you." Wow, this is definitely something we are all missing nowadays. May I help you? Let me help you. And I'm sure that you have helped Clemence to be passionate about his next speech. Clemence, I see your smile. You've done it. Thank you. And our next evaluator is Stan. And he's going to evaluate Nikhita, our semi-finalist of World Championship of Public Speaking. Let's see how he does it. And Dan says, I have learned pretty well through Toastmasters and my hospitality career. That delegation is the best way to be most effective in serving others as a leader. Currently, he is serving as the Speaker Bureau Chair. Maybe next time you can tell us more about that. For Division D in District 114. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Evaluator. Thank you, Hannah, and fellow Namibian with Nikhita. I was looking forward to listening to Nikhita because when you hear there's a world champion of public speaking, you expect, and Nikhita, you did not disappoint. The beginning, hello, I mean, you came, it's a private conversation, but all of us are involved, hello. And then you talk about the fears that you have as a protege, coming to something new. So we were part of you, we were in your story, we could see it, yes, this is what it is. And then brilliant. You linked it to something that you love, that you do, the dances, pas de deux. It takes two. You do things with a passion. It is like we're watching a dance. Even if it was a picture that was still, it's like we watched the dance. And as you narrated it and you told us the importance of mentoring, what we have to do, that there's two people have to, and it's not just the ballerina who just sits weakly. She also has her own strength. That was brilliant. And at times when she flops, the mentor gets her back to her center. Oh, at one point during your speech, I was feeling I'm in a class, a training class with a specialist. It made a lot of sense what mentoring is about. It brought it to the fore. One area probably, because I cannot say anything, but one area probably that you can think about is when you explain it doesn't matter what your gender are. There we got lost a little bit because you put it in there. Don't worry. Tell your story. What someone feels doesn't matter. What they were saying is forget it. Just tell the story. It came out extremely well. The analogy was brilliant. It sticks in my mind what mentoring is. I've heard this speak about mentoring and they speak by many speakers, but the element you brought out, I was enjoying listening. I hope you wouldn't end. Another area probably you would consider is then because your timing went to 7 minutes and 53. So you went a little bit over time. And as a championship of public speaking, we don't go over time. But all in all, such a lovely presentation, so well connected, touched the essence of what mentoring is. The times when we feel weak and we want to just lean on our mentor. No, we have to be strong ourselves because it's not their duty to carry us. We too have to be strong and bring out that two of us working together. Pas de deux. Brilliant presentation, Nikhita. You did not disappoint. I look forward to hearing more of your speeches. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Dan, the way you evaluated her, she will definitely do the next speech and will give you the chance to evaluate her again. Your vocal variety was good, was excellent. And with your Zoom presence, let us see all of you when you show your passion about evaluating Nikhita. Because I only saw your hands, I didn't see all of you, I just heard you evaluating her. So show us all of you. Thank you very much for everybody that evaluated. And Mr. Zoom Master, please post a poll for the best evaluator. And I am sure this will be a very difficult task. And while we're doing this, I ask the timer to please put the times into the chat box. I'm sure she has done it already because I can't see it at the moment. And while we wait for that all, let's hear from our grammarian, Mohammed. Please, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Hannah, for inviting me to play the role of grammarian, and I am thinking how to start it with. So I understand that the grammar is the essence of a language. So I'm very much curious to learn the grammar of the language. So today I am thinking like once somebody asked a reporter, a journalist, that, and he replied that there is no news, good news. Good news is no news. So I can say that today I couldn't get any wrong structure or mistakes in grammar. And I'm sure that all are very much experienced and advanced Toastmasters. They use their English language very well. And so I learned. But In the meantime, I am able to learn some good English structure that I must say here. Like, you can delegate authority, but not the responsibility. That is good. Work hard and you can conquer any mountain. And I understand that mountain used as a substitute of difficulties and difficult targets. That's good. First time listening, let me help you to change my life forever. Before that, I was listening. Let me help you to change your life forever. So this is meaningful. So we can help others to help ourselves. A beautiful surrogation from the good speeches, and I found it like dance of two as the beautiful between a beautiful balance between the prodigy and mentor. That is also good that I learned today. One correction I need is very important here today is that it helps me in your career. I think it should be career. Spelling is the same, but career is to vehicle and transport, and career is to profession and occupation. And only one speaker used the word surrogate as surrogation. Thank you very much. Over to General Evaluator.
Mohammed, thank you very much as grammarian. Just a pity that this word wasn't used more than, as you said, once. Now I give my general evaluation, and I start with the greeter. This actually is an extremely important function to welcome our guests, our visitors, and our members to our meetings, and to make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome. Let's greet them as soon as they enter the room. Speak to them, or the greeter then should also quieten the others that have a chit-chat and say, I have a duty to welcome my guests. Our Zoom master and SAA Bram, spotlighting was done to perfection. Reading the disclaimer and our club mission and our leadership statement is always required with our meetings. Our timer, Mary Lou. Thank you very much for excelling yourself as our timer. Congratulations. And the timing lights were spot on. Our grammarian. Just a pity, as I said earlier on, that this word was not used or only used once. Our PR manager, I'm sure that he has got the certificates ready for the best speaker and for the best evaluator. The half hour before our meeting actually starts is so important for us all. Here it is the time to have a final check whether our PowerPoint presentations, or that there were none today, our timing devices, our grammarian word of the day are all correct and working. And let's not forget, as I said earlier on, to greet our visitors, guests, and members. Today we have witnessed the true meaning of leaders delegating effectively. All of us have been delegated by either the Toastmaster of the day or the General Evaluator to fulfill a small part for this meeting to have run so smoothly. We all have worked together like a set of gears where one cog fits into the other one perfectly. That is why Leadership Speak is performing so effectively, especially today. If one gear does not function, the whole system collapses. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Hannah, for chairing the general evaluation session. I'm sure all the people were very happy with the evaluations that were presented today. At this point, I would like to call to the virtual stage Angela Brown, who will be sharing the thought for the day, the thought of the day.
It is Mrinal. Mrinal is doing the thought of the day. If
Oh,
you look
sorry,
at the agenda, yes. Angela couldn't be here with us today.
Oh.
Thank you, Leya. What an amazing meeting once again. Leaders delegate effectively. When you delegate tasks, you create followers. When you delegate authority, you create leaders. What an amazing meeting and what a key learning throughout transformation journey shared by each and every one of us. Our legendary Toastmaster, Tony, Toastmasters talk about the leadership delegate effectively, share his personal experience, guidance committee, how he delegate members for the Toastmaster materials, and how he well-organized meeting, speak with confidence, and transformation journey of a club from 8 members to 39 members. Carine, what a key message you totally given for the audience. Leaders can't manage alone. We have a team. Fear to control the team. Know what to delegate. Play the employee's strengths and goals. Define your desired outcomes. I know failures, be patient, and how to deliver. So these are very thought-provoking to becoming how you delegate your task to becoming an effective leader. Through our speech, today I also learned about the 4 key component of RASA: recognition, achievement, support, affiliations. Please think of that and try to implement in you. And apart from that, few things I just want to implement about the mentor-mentee relation, protege-mentor relations. So that is very much important. If you both are responsible to build a bond, to seek mentor commitment, if you follow in your personal life, you're becoming extraordinary leaders. So leaders, it's time to take a key learning experience from today's session and use your personal life. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Mina, for that thought of the day. And at this point, I would then like for our Zoom master to please share the awards for today's meeting. That's the best speaker and the best evaluator that we voted for earlier.
The PR master will be doing that, and it's on the screen there.
Okay. So we have there our speaker, so you can clap. Well done, Nikhita Winkler, for being voted as the best speaker, and our best evaluator, Sandra. Well done, well done, well done, well done for being voted as our best evaluator for our meeting today. And there we have fellow Toastmasters and guests. We have come to a very exciting meeting today. As previously stated, our theme was Leaders Delegate Effectively, and I'll just thank you so much for letting me be your Toastmaster of the day today. And I'll end with this quote by Simon Sinek that says, "A star wants to see himself rise to the top. A leader wants to see those around him rise to the top." And as we continue thinking and working about how we can be effective leaders who delegate, may we want to see others indeed rise to the top. At this point, I'll now hand over to the president for the guest comments and for the meeting to be adjourned. Over to you, Aswathy.
Well, thank you very much, Leya, for steering the meeting with a panache. I mean, you followed up for the meeting right from the beginning of 2 weeks in advance. I mean, that's a real good leader who does so much of groundwork or homework, and to ensure that our leadership speak meetings are done perfectly. So what we see in front is the fruits, but at the back end, there is a lot of work which goes on, and that's known as a delegation. That's what work at leadership speak as well, right? So, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good morning and good evening. Right now, I'm from India. Speaking from India, it's night over here. And we have a couple of guests as well. Please stay online while we're going to address you very quickly to understand from you, how was your experience about our meeting. So the meeting today was about delegation, and every week we dwell upon a kind of a leadership challenge. And, at Leadership Speak, we have members from 16 countries and from different time zones, and so many speech we try to fit into our very compact schedule. At the same time, we have so many kind of different activities as well. So this is all possible by effective delegation, and we do it through our committees as well. So there are so many members in our different committees, and they actively participate and they act like self-directed leaders. And wherever there are some gaps, I mean, we continuously, as from right, not only from the ExCom, but also from the senior leaders as well, they keep on stepping in and then help every member to catch up. That's what the delegation is all about, isn't it? Why would somebody delegate? The real issue behind delegation is not having faith in the people whom you want to delegate. You might not know that, whether they are going to be able to perform as to that level as what you have been performing. Or there could be some other concerns or fears that they might perform much better than you. I mean, that could be one more fear. But at the end of the day, so many things have to be delivered. So many tasks have to be delivered, and time is always scarce. And that's where we really need to delegate smartly. Most important, a Toastmasters environment where these terms are, short-term durations. We need to prepare a big funnel of, all our leaders, all our, the new leadership who's going to be. Have you ever watched like a relay race? Similar to that relay race, you pass on the baton to the other person. But once you pass on the baton, is that person really prepared to take up the task? I mean, that's the challenge, right? So that happens in organizations. It's corporate organizations, it doesn't happen so quickly. We don't keep changing people with their office duties every year, but that happens in Toastmasters. And that's where it's really a big opportunity to learn this art of delegation. The reason is in Toastmasters, what max loss will happen is when you delegate and somebody is not able to perform to the expectations. That's the reason this is a place where you come and experiment without being judged, without being, having so much of fear that somebody, if you fail, then somebody is going to be really take you to task, and you will have a kind of a bad image. But definitely, that's the reason what Leadership Speak stands for. Every week, we will keep continuously evaluating all the leadership challenges, and we dwell upon this fabulous aspects of leadership and communication. So now it was a fabulous meeting, so I acknowledge all our role players, all our speakers and evaluators, and the general evaluator, especially the educational speaker Carine, for sharing her experience around delegation. So fabulous work done. Once again, it was a fabulous meeting, and really very, very happy to be, keep continuing our the kind of work which we could do it. It's really, really, great as a kind of an organization, the way we work as a Toastmasters club as well. So now I'm going to invite Toastmaster Brahm, but before that, I'm going to adjourn our meeting. And Zoom Master, you could